Probably guessed from that intro, on deck today for review we have the H&K USP 9. This is the compact version. We've done a review of the full model earlier. I'll put a link up here so you guys can check that out if you're looking for it. But this is the compact version, 13+1, 9mm. This one here is the Variation 3 trigger, which is the double action, single action, a very traditional trigger pull, I should say. HK does offer several other options there. We'll get into that more in the review. But right now we're going to go ahead and step over to the 12-meter line, which is just to my right. Take a few shots on these steel plates, see if we can keep them on the plates. Maybe, maybe not. And get into the rest of the review. Probably not shooting as fast as I typically would, but as they always say, you can't miss fast enough. But as long as you do your part, this gun will do its part. We'll go ahead and get the disassembly of the pistol here. To do that, you just depress the mag release, which is right here. It's an H&K USP type mag release, so you depress it down, inspect the chamber, ensure that it's clear. It is. You're gonna go ahead and take the slide back to this little notch right here. Lines up with this takedown pin. Push it through from the backside. It'll fall right out. Release it, take out your spring, take out your barrel, and that is your disassembled pistol. One thing of note, you see here it does have a recoil buffer on the guide rod. Just something to note, a lot of guns don't have that. Assembly is the exact opposite. So go ahead and put it back in, put your recoil spring in there, and slide it back on the frame. Very simple gun to maintain, no doubt about that. It's definitely one of the pros of it, especially considering when this gun came out. That was a lot of guns back then were a little bit more complicated. This one's real simple. And go ahead and hit the decocker. While we're at it, one thing to note about the HK pistols is that there are 9 different variants of the trigger system. This one here, like I said, is variant 3, which is double action, single action. But I'm getting into some size comparisons there with a couple other guns that are on the market. Obviously the full-size USP is we'll try to line that up for you. That's the difference between the full size and the compact. Much longer in both the slide, in the slide, but in the grip it's not much longer. This one here has the optional extended base plate for the magazine, but if you had the flat base plate on there, it's pretty similar in the grip, but the overall length is different. You can also see from the top what they look like, pretty similar, but again, the USP is just a little bit more compact in the slide. Another gun that's going to be out there competing with is the SIG P229. See there, it's relatively similar in dimensions. The SIG might be a little bit longer. I don't know if it's hard to see. A little bit longer in the grip, but again, due to this extended base plate that I do have on mine, it looks right about the same. Take a look from overhead as well, and they're pretty similar in size. We'll go over some features of the gun first. I don't know if you noticed it during the size comparison section, but the grip here and the reach to the trigger for the compact version is slightly reduced, so that way people with smaller hands are going to have an easier time reaching the trigger on this. So a lot of female shooters, young shooters, or just people with small hands in general are probably going to prefer this over the larger size USP. As I mentioned earlier, the magazines do come with 2 different base plates. This here is the extended. I do not have an example of the flat base plates. I actually traded mine off for the extended, so I don't have them. I apologize for that. This gun here, the frame here is the fiberglass reinforced polymer. One thing that a lot of guys have seen out there on the internet is that picture of the, I believe it's a Border Patrol agent that cracked his USP frame. I mean, that's an extreme example. In my opinion, that would probably, even if you had an all steel frame, it probably would have dented it or bent it, because to crack one of these frames would take an extreme amount of force. So I feel pretty confident that the frame is definitely strong there. One thing that a lot of guys note about the HKs is that if you shoot reloads, so lead, you might have a problem here, because this does have polygonal rifling similar to Glock pistols. I mean, it's definitely doable, but it's something you got to keep an eye on if you are doing that. The finish here is what's called a hostile environment blued finish. This gun right here, this particular one, is a 1986 gun that we've had for a while. It's definitely been through some things, if you will, and the finish is holding up well. These sights here are about 5 years old, and the sights are showing a ton more finish than the gun that's 3 times as old, so it's definitely holding up well there. The slide itself is made of a nitrocarburized steel, very strong substance, definitely meant to withstand some punishment that HKs are known for. Another thing here is the extractor. it doubles as a loaded chamber indicator on this gun, similar to a Glock, so you can feel it and you know the gun is loaded. I already mentioned the mag release that I do like. I'll show you how the trigger system works here, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with it. To load the round, then you're in single action, so you go ahead and press the trigger. Again, you're gonna back the slide, and now you're back in single action as the round fired. If you want to go ahead and decock the pistol, you just take the decocker here and go ahead and push it down. And there is a block, as you can see there. When I push that hammer forward, it does not actually go forward because that's the block that's in there. Whereas if I were to do that, you can see there the hammer is all the way forward, which wouldn't, as you can see it moving. Before, when I just decocked it, it would not do that. So you have to actually hold the trigger to the back. That's a safety mechanism in there. But overall, guys, the USP Compact is an oldie but a goodie. There's some limitations on it. Obviously, the rail system is a little bit outdated, but there are lights for it if you guys are looking to do that. But this gun's been around a while. It's been in production for a long time. It's still in production today. The reason is it's an excellent gun. It feels well in the hand. It just sits well in your hand. It balances well, points well. It's reliable. It's got a proven history in both military and law enforcement applications. And I mean, it's a good gun. It's expensive, no doubt about that. But in this case, I think you get what you pay for. The HKs are just really well made and reliable, durable guns. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you in the next video.